This problem says the two graphs below compare the gallons of gasoline used and the total distance traveled for both cars. Which comparison of the slopes of the two lines is accurate? All right, so the slope of this line is we're going up 50 and over 2. So the slope of car 1 is 50 over 2, or 25. Where the slope of car 2 is 40 over 2, which is 20. All right, so the 3 or 4 options is the slope of the car 1's graph is less than the slope of car 2's graph. So 25 is not less than 20. The slope of car 1's graph is 5 greater than the slope of car 2's, which is true. Car 1 is 5 greater than 2. That's why this was the correct answer. So you had to make sure you found the slope of both, and all I did was find the ordered pair, 52, and divide that, because this is a proportional graph. So the slope of car 1's graph is 10 greater than slope, so it's only 5 greater. So I think you looked at just 50 and 40 and got 10, but you have to divide it by 2 to figure out what the unit rate would be. Okay. Eric earns a weekly salary and a commission on each item that sells. Y equals 10x plus 50 represents the amount of money that Eric earns weekly. Bailey earns a greater weekly salary than Eric, but the same commission rate, which means it has the same slope. So we're looking for a graph that has a slope of 10, but started out earlier. So the reason that it wasn't the one that you chose is you did 50 and did a slope of 25. Okay, so the ones that had the same slope but was Eric's graph. This is probably Eric's graph, but this is the correct answer for Bailey, because notice that it has a slope of 10. So if we go up 50 and over 5, 50 divided by 5 is 10. And it starts at a higher number, which is 75. So that's why that was the correct answer. Okay, a company has determined that its weekly profit is a function of the number of items that it sells. Which equation could represent the weekly profit in thousands of dollars, Y, when the customer sells X items? So the only one that would work in terms of Y is this one, because it's Y equals, okay? The first one is Y squared equals, and that wouldn't be Y, so Y in terms of X. So the second one is the only equation that's written in Y where it's how many they sell for X in terms of Y. So when it says that it says it's in terms of Y, it wants it to be Y equals the equation. So that's the only equation that does that. All right, a line passes through the points 1, -6, and 4, 3. What is the y-intercept of the graph? Now, a couple of things you could do. You could graph it. So 1, -6. It's going to be right here. And then 4, 3, it's going to be right there. But that really doesn't help us find the y-intercept. So my suggestion would be to write the equation. So I'm going to find the slope. I'm going to do 3 minus 6 minus -6 because I subtract the y's, so y2 minus y1, and then 4 minus 1. So I'm going to get 9 over 3, which is equal to 3. So then I'm going to substitute in one of the equations. I'm going to choose this one into y equals mx plus b. And then I'm going to use that to find the b. So I know that y is 3. The slope is 3 times 4 plus b. So I get 3 equals 12 plus b. Subtract 12 from both sides. So I get -9 equals b. So that's why the correct answer was -9. All right, a teacher has a 2-gallon, 32-cup container of juice. She gives each student 1/2 a cup of juice. Which expression represents the amount of juice that remains y after x students are served? So the reason that the one that you chose is incorrect is because it's got to be the negative 1/2 x, because it starts with 32 cups and she's giving away a 1/2 cup. We want to know how much juice remains, so we're subtracting, so it's got a negative slope. All right, a line passes through the point -6, 4 and -2, 2, which is the equational line. So first I'm going to find the slope. So you had a close slope. It looks like you made a sign error. So I'm going to do 2 minus 4 divided by -2 minus -6. So I'm going to get -2 on top and 4 on the bottom, which is -1/2. So as soon as I find the slope, I know that this is the correct answer. It looks like you had a positive, and then that's how you ended up with the wrong y-intercept too. Okay, Jada fills the bathtub before taking a bath and then allows the water to drain when she's done. The graph below models the number of gallons of time in minutes. Is the number of gallons of water a function of time? Yes, it is, because there are no, so the definition of a function is that there's an exactly one unique output for every unique input, which means that every x value has only one y value. Okay, where there could be two x values that equal the same y, there can't be an x value that has a different y. So anytime a graph passes what we call the vertical line test, if I draw a vertical line anywhere, it doesn't go through 2 points, it's a function. So the correct answer is yes, because each t value is paired with exactly one number of gallons. That is the reason why it's a function.